Americans lose billions of dollars to scams each year, including $12.5 billion in 2024 alone. One of the biggest cons, impostor scams, where criminals pretend to be someone you trust. Brooklyn Cromer shows how South Carolina couple fell for an elaborate version and ended up liquidating their savings into gold bars and delivering it to the crooks.
This would be like a spy novel. If somebody was writing a spy novel, it was a perfect storyline.
It all started with a pop-up message on Michael Chrisman's computer. The notice said the computer was locked and all of his information had been compromised. It gave him a phone number to call, and when he did, the person on the line identified himself as someone who worked for a large tech company.
It was identified as a Microsoft number, so I was comfortable because I have a Microsoft system. And once I called that number, this gentleman got on and said, well, you're right, you've been compromised, we need to fix that. He says, and you may very well have been compromised in your financial accounts also, so you need to call your financial institution.
He called the number on the back of his credit card, not realizing all of his calls were being intercepted, and he was talking to the hackers themselves.
It answered my financial institution, fraud department, and I said, okay, I've been a victim of identity theft and fraud.
Michael and his wife Roxanne had many conversations over several months and talked to multiple people. The hackers, posing as bank employees, instructed them to liquidate cash and purchase gold bars. Couriers were then sent out to their home to pick them up on several different occasions.
They would walk up, and then I would walk out, and then the transaction would take place. I would hand them the package, which was the gold, and then they went away. And we were directed at that time to go back in the house, just stay in the house, and then they would confirm that Federal Reserve was accepting the package.
They were told that the gold would be delivered to the Federal Reserve, and they would hold it until their accounts were no longer compromised. After that, it would be converted back to cash and deposited into their accounts. That never happened.
You get victimized by the actual scammers, but then you're left with the IRS and consequences of having to pay. Because, like, for instance, we had Roth IRAs, regular IRAs, we had inheritance, all kinds of things like that we now are going to be subject to paying taxes for. And we're not prepared to do that.
Roxanne snapped photos of the couriers and their cars, and the FBI says they are now investigating and trying to identify the people involved. But they want to prevent it from happening to anyone else.
I do know that there are multiple people in the upstate who have experienced this, or people who have attempted to scam them out of their hard-earned money. If someone is asking you to move your money from one account into another to protect it, that's likely a scam.
So the FBI says the government agencies will never ask you to cash in accounts, turn it into gold bars, wire money, none of that. Not to buy gift cards.
Right, that was crazy. And the fact that they
intercepted, that's what got me. I thought, okay, at least he's
their phone
called.
calls.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And they repeatedly came back to their house.
The courage they're having in making that public.
Yeah.
But do you guys see that all the time on the computers? Like on my Mac computer, it'll lock down, freeze, and say, alert, alert.
Oh, yeah.
In order to get control back. And then you'll call, but I don't call anymore.
Yeah, don't anymore.
Well, yeah, I called the first time, the 800 number, and they said, well, you have to give the information to your computer. I was like, no. And I sent my worker right down the street to the bank, and they're like, mm-mm. So I mean, I wasn't going to do it because it was like, someone just said no. Yeah. But it still comes up all the time, and you see all these older people and all that. You know, they called my aunt and my mom and them and said, hey, your grandson, we have him here, and they're yelling on the phone, and they have the voices like them.
Oh yeah, the AI the voiceovers is ridiculous. So now they can replicate, and so the videos that you have online, on Facebook, on your social media of your kids and your grandkids, and they can hear those voices. They can use those to target you very specifically. So
I'm going to be checking with every older person I know and telling them, reminding them of these tips right here, because you know it could happen to anybody. Really,
don't give out any of your personal information. If they need your personal information, it's a wrap. I mean,
Yeah,
you can
and-
always not do it, and that gives you time to go and call and check.
Yeah, and your bank's not going to call you.
They're not going to.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So scammers are preying on fear. They're putting you into flight or fright, so your brain isn't even thinking clearly. So talk to other people. Banks are good at catching this. But call your district attorney's office. They are on it. Call the DA's office. They will help you, or call your Bureau of Investigation for your state.
Yeah.
They want these calls. They want to help solve it. And I thank that couple for sharing their story so that we could have this discussion and warn each other and others.
Right.
Whew. We'll be back with more on Aging Untold.